Very good morning, students. In this video, I am going to tell you about the origin, insertion, nerve supply, and action of the triceps muscle. Tricep is the extensor muscle of the posterior compartment of the arm. Okay. Now, this diagram is as seen from back side of the arm. This is the humerus. This is the scapula. The infraglenite tubercle of the scapula, the glenite cavity, the head of the humerus is there, medial epicondyle, the lateral epicondyle I have drawn. Now, these are the medial and lateral intermuscular septum, okay, which separates the flexor from the extensor compartment and which are attached onto the supracondylar ridge. Okay, so these are the intermuscular septum. Now, this is a ridge which is seen on the posterior aspect of the humerus. Let us see this humerus. And in this humerus, on the posterior aspect, this is the posterior aspect of the right humerus, you are seeing a ridge here. Yeah, this prominent ridge is seen here, which gives origin to that of the head of the triceps, that is to the lateral head of the, so this is that ridge, and just below that, there is a spiral groove. Okay, this is a spiral groove which extends from the medial to that of the lateral side obliquely like this. So there is a ridge above the spiral groove here, which gives passage to the radial artery and the profunda brachii artery, radial. तो इसमें इस स्पाइरल ग्रुप में से प्रोफेंडा ब्रेकाई आर्टरी और रेडियल नर्व पास होते हैं. उसके ऊपर एक रफ रिज है जिससे कि लैटरल हेड ऑफ द ट्राइसेप्स अराइज होगा. उसके पीछे का ये जो ट्राइंगुलर स्मूथ एरिया है, दिस गिव्स ओरिजिन टू दैट ऑफ द मीडियल हेड ऑफ द ट्राइसेप्स. ओके, दैट इज अबाउट द बोनी लैंडमार्क, एंड दिस इज द just say the right ulna, and this is that olecranon process as seen from behind. So this is the top of the olecranon process where the insertion will take place. Right. Let us see the origin of the triceps muscle. The origin of the triceps muscle is from the three different heads. That is, one is the long head, and the origin is from the infraglenite tubercle of the scapula. Let us see. This is the scapula of the right side, and you can see that this is the glenite cavity, and this tubercle is called as the infraglenite tubercle. If I put it here, this is the infraglenite tubercle. From this tubercle, there is a tendinous origin of the long head of the triceps, which becomes soon muscular. It runs from medial to the lateral side. Then from this wrist, this is the origin of the lateral head, and this lateral head takes origin and covers these structures. Okay, so just I am drawing very superficially. So this is the origin of the lateral head. So this is the lateral head of the triceps, and this is the long head of the triceps. Okay, this is the long head of the triceps is there. The lateral head then covers the profunda brachii artery and the radial nerve, and then they both fuses with each other. That means lateral head and long head, they fuse with each other, and then they form an aponeurotic or tendinous mass here superficially. So this is the lateral and that of the long head. For example, this is the, in a side view, this is the olecranon process, the ulna shaft. This is the trochlea of the lower end of the humerus. This is the shaft of the humerus as seen. This joint is the elbow joint. And from this ridge, the origin is that of the lateral head. From the infraglenite tubercle, this is the long head is coming, and both these heads, they fuse with each other, and then they form a superficially aponeurotic tendon here, both the long and lateral head. And then from deep inside, okay, this is the site of the origin of the medial head, that is taking origin from the medial intermuscular septum, posterior aspect of the part of the humerus, posterior surface, and then from the medial intermuscular, lateral intermuscular, medial, and from the both. It is taking origin from the posterior surface. So ultimately, this a strong muscle is formed here, and this strong muscle is formed because of the union of the three different heads, and then its tendon. Okay, this goes and gets attached onto the top of the olecranon process of the ulna. So a strong tendon which you can feel here in your backside of the elbow, it goes and gets attached onto the top of the olecranon process of that the ulna. So this is the insertion of the ulna. After crossing to the elbow joint, see this is strong tendon going and getting attached onto the top of the olecranon process here. So these are the three different heads of origin, and then the three heads they fuse with each other here as it is shown here. Okay, you should understand that first the lateral and long head they fuse with each other, and from the under surface of which then the medial head comes, and then ultimately a single tendon is formed, and this superficial tendon for the long end, the lateral head, वो आपस में एक दूसरे से मिल करके फिर medial head के tendon से they fuse और फिर they will attach onto the top of the olecranon process. Okay, so ये उसका origin और insertion है triceps muscle का. Now if you will see this is the radial nerve in the radial groove or the spiral groove, and this is the artery, okay, that is profunda. And as I say that they pass through the spiral groove or the radial groove, okay, which is from medial to the lateral side. And here it is covered by the lateral head. I have not completely covered it because I want to show you the nerve supply of this muscle. So the nerve supply of this muscle is from the radial nerve. And this radial nerve gives the nerve before it enters into the spiral groove. Okay, some of the branches are given from before it enters the, and then multiple branches comes from the medial and lateral head and long head when it is lying into the spiral groove. So you should note that there are the two sets of the nerve branches which are supplying to the radial, I will say this triceps. One before entering into the radial groove, and secondly when it has already inside the radial groove, then again it gives the branches to the three different heads. Okay, three different heads. Okay, let us come to the action of this muscle after the nerve supply. As you know that this muscle is an extensor muscles of the forearm. So this will produce as extension of the elbow. This is the flexion of the elbow, and then when it comes here like this, the ulna straighten up, उसके line में आ जाएगी humerus के. Then this movement is called as the extension movement, and then this is the flexion movement. So this produces the extension. But you should note that most of the extension which takes place is due to the gravity. But when you produce a forceful extension against the resistance, then these muscles become hyperactive. Okay, I mean to become active. So this is the extensor of the elbow. But when this muscle is abducted, say for example the arm goes away, then this tendon of the long head of the triceps, it forms a support to that of the shoulder joint, because then humerus will go like that, and then this long head will lie in relation to the inferior surface of the shoulder capsule of the shoulder joint, will support it. Okay, will support the joint here from the below. In my opinion, this long head, since it is crossing the two joints, extension was taking place that since it was crossing to only one joint, that is the elbow joint. Okay, but here since the long head is also crossing to that of the shoulder joint, it may be a weak adductor also, because it will pull the head, the arm towards the medial plane, because here is the midline of the body, or medial plane is there. Lastly, I will tell you about its applied importance of the triceps. So in the short note, if triceps comes, the last thing should be that of the applied importance. Now, most of the fractures, okay, which takes place in the humerus, they may be from that of the middle of the shaft of the humerus, okay, middle of the shaft because of the accidental injury or due to the fall may take place from the middle of the shaft, and if it is from the middle of the shaft, then this radial nerve get injured while it is lying in the spiral groove or the radial groove here, and because of the injury to the radial nerve, then those branches which were taking origin from the radial groove itself, within the radial groove, they will be, okay, not be supplying to that will be interfered with, okay, will be not supplying to the long end to that of the to the long head, and I mean to say to the muscle will not be supplied. But then I have told you that there are two sides of the nerve, one which is taking origin in the radial groove and another which is taking origin before it enters the radial groove. But those nerves which are going to the heads of the different heads of the tricep, they will not be injured, they will survive. Okay, so these branches, they are still intact, and hence mostly in the fracture of the humerus, okay, from the mid shaft, okay, the triceps escape the paralysis, okay, so the injury will not affect to the triceps because already the nerve has supplied before it was injured in this radial groove. Thank you very much. This is an important short note for the examinations of the triceps. So I hope that you have understood it.